Hey y'all, welcome to Homesteader Monday. I'm Madden from Self-Reliance Publishing, and today we're going to talk about forest gardens. Now, forest gardens are a subset of permaculture, which stands for permanent agriculture, and it's sort of people who are looking at farming, gardening, homesteading, and the like, and looking at it and at trying to do it in as sustainable a manner as possible. And I am all about taking care of the environment when we can, and if you're a prepper, it's good to be sustainable. So all around, I think that we're better off if we find a sustainable manner of doing things. And forest gardens, I think, have a lot of advantages. Forest garden is sort of the main area of your garden, and each forest garden is made up of many different guilds. A guild is a smaller subset that's got a central plant, and then you've got a lot of supporting plants going around it. So these apple trees that I just purchased could be the central plants for a small guild, and around them I'd plant bushes and herbaceous plants and whatnot that complement these apple trees. So for a forest garden, there's 7 different layers to it. The first layer is a canopy layer. Those are going to be your large trees, like your oak trees, hickory trees, and whatnot. And sort of getting off track a little bit, all the plants have a useful function to them. So either edibles, provide some sort of medicinal purpose, maybe use the fibers to make rope, cordage, or maybe you can use the stems for basket weaving. Or maybe they attract wildlife. Every plant in a forest garden should have some sort of useful purpose. So getting back to the 7 layers, the top layer is the canopy layer. It's your largest trees in the forest garden. Then you've got your understory trees, which are going to be your smaller trees. They could be like these apple trees right here, or persimmon trees. Ideally, the understory trees would tolerate the shade that the canopy layer gives them, but in some cases, like for these apple trees, they really need full sun, in which case you just need to make sure that you're putting them on the outside of the forest garden in a place where they'll receive plenty of sunlight. Underneath the understory trees, you've got your bush layer. Beneath the bush layer, you've got your herbaceous layer, then you've got your ground cover, and you've got your root plants. So your plants where the roots are the useful part of the plant, like potatoes, peanuts, sassafras, what have you. And then the 7th layer is your vine layer, and those are vines like grapes that you plant that grow up the trees and other parts of your forest garden. So if you incorporate these 7 layers, you're making great use of the space you have available, and you can get greater production out of a smaller piece of property. And that appeals to me because I'm stuck here in the city on a small city lot, and so if I can put 1,000 square feet of space and dedicate that to a forest garden that will produce food, that would be a good thing if I can get extra production out of that. So it's a concept that I just recently came across, maybe 6 months to a year ago, and it's one that I've wanted to implement, and I'm going to start taking steps little by little to get there and see how it goes. Another sort of benefit to a forest garden is it takes a lot of investment and time and money, energy in getting it set up. But once it's set up, the majority of the plants that you're using are perennial plants, so they're good for year after year. So if once you get it going, you should be good. Not that it doesn't take maintenance. You still gotta prune your trees to get maximum production out of them. You're still gonna have to take care of your plants. But if life gets busy and you don't give them the care and the attention that they deserve, they'll still be around and they'll still produce something. Maybe not 100%, but they'll still produce something. Even if you neglect them for a couple years at a time, you can come back, prune them up, clean them up, get them to where they need to be to increase that yield again. It's not like annual crops or your typical vegetable garden where if you miss the window for planting, you're just out of luck for that year. So that's another thing that appeals to me. Anyways, this video was meant to be an introduction to the concept of a forest garden if you're not familiar with it. Moving forward, I plan on making more videos as I assemble my forest garden, my little forest gardens and mini guilds in my backyard and side yards. And I'll show you some of the plants that I'm using, how they work together, how they complement one another, and hopefully give you some ideas on how to implement it yourself. In a bit of other news, I just recently set up a Facebook page. It's Self-Reliance Publishing, so if you're on Facebook, be sure to check that out and give us a thumbs up. As always, I appreciate every like, every comment, and every subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.